But if you are a kid, I would love for you to come forward. Because this sermon is for everyone, but it is especially for our children. So come up. Welcome. Yeah, come on, find a good place to sit, get cozy, get comfortable. And thank you for being here this morning. I love all the VBS shirts and beautiful colors and things. This is exciting. How many of you have done godly play before? A few of you. So this morning's gospel is one of the stories that I believe would come in one of the nice gold boxes. It's a special story. It's a parable for the most part. Parables are stories that Jesus would tell. They have lots of ways to understand them. They mean a lot. They are special. They are gifts. That's why in Godly Play they're stored in beautiful boxes. This parable that Jesus tells, he tells because first, some man comes up to him and says, "Teacher, would you tell my brother to divide the inheritance with me?" It's a funny question, right? It's the kind of question that I can understand why Jesus would dismiss it, because there were laws in place that said exactly how inheritance was supposed to work. But many of us know that even now where there are systems set up and there are wills that divide inheritance differently than they did in this day, people still argue about inheritance all the time. And Jesus, I think, has this incredible way of seeing to the heart of things. So Jesus sees beyond your red Building Disciple shirts this morning. Sees beyond the face masks that many people are wearing, sees to the heart of things. And so Jesus knows that this man who talks to him cares about the heart. And so Jesus tells this story, that is all about greed. Have you ever felt a little bit greedy? Thought a lot about yourself? Or do you know anyone else who's been like that, who really only cares about themselves? Yeah, I'm seeing even more nods. I think we all are capable of being like that, and we all meet people who were like that. And in this parable, in this special story that Jesus tells, the story is really like that. I don't know if you heard. Can you all do me a favor? Every time I say me or I, can you raise your hand? Can you do that? Okay. So this is what the rich man in the story does. He looks out at his fields and sees how well they are producing, and he says, "Wow, I have abundant crops, and I don't have enough space to store everything that is going to come from this harvest. So what should I do?" "Oh, I know," he says. "I can tear down the buildings that I do have and build bigger ones. And then I can look out at all that I have, and I will say to myself, wow, what a lot I have. I have so much that I can sit back and feel good about what I have. And I will say to my soul, wow, soul, we have it made. So it's time to eat and drink, relax, and be cheerful." Now, that sounds pretty nice, right? Having enough to eat, having enough to have some leftovers. You can stop raising your hands. Yeah, it feels good to have the things we need, right? And not have to worry about it. It feels good when you have food to eat. It feels good when you have people to hold you close, right?
I only eat what?
You only eat what?
Eat cereal.
You only eat cereal? But it's good to have enough cereal, right? Bananas. Oh, so many yummy things to eat. Yeah, so it feels really good when we have those things. Uh-huh. Yeah. You eat noodles too. It feels good to have a variety of things to eat. It may not feel good to have somebody trying to stop you from moving where you don't want to go, but when they do it out of safety and care, it's a good thing. But here's the caveat about all the stuff that this man says. To have a lot of fields and have an abundance of crops, I promise you, he did not do all that work himself. So it would be like if I sat in front of all of you right now, and instead of talking to you, I only talked about myself, and I only cared about myself. The man ignores everyone who helped him, everyone around him. He only thinks about himself. But for those of you who are at VBS, which I suspect is just about all of you, was discipleship, the way you learned it at VBS, was it all about yourselves? No. Discipleship is about how we love God and how we love each other, isn't it? Yeah. It is about so much more than the self. And I think Annalie is really excited. She may remember her own baptism. This font is out here because we are going to baptize someone today. A young woman named Chloe is not tickling her friends, as fun as that is. She is getting ready to commit her life to Christ. Can you stop tickling right now, please? When Chloe comes forward in a few minutes, she will make promises, and we will all make promises. Because this is one of the ways that we practice discipleship. It's one of the ways that we are not like that man in that parable that Jesus told, but we get at what Jesus wants us to do. Because Chloe joins together in the household of God today. And we, in our turn, all promise that we will love and support and guide her in her life of faith. That's what Jesus calls us to do with this funny story, to not just care about ourselves, to not just relax and say we have it all, but to love each other. Amen. Now don't go anywhere, because you'll have the best view of anyone for the baptism.